Hey there. Thank you for joining me. This is Burnt Coal, and today's the 31st of December, 2025. So Happy New Year as we go into the new year. You're probably seeing this later on in the day. I'm starting to learn more about YouTube. This is a brand new channel. I'm diving in. I've learned a lot of things and made a lot of changes in myself over the past year. And as I've gone through making changes, there's been a lot of getting in touch with my inner child, a lot of going back and thinking of the memories and times that I had in the past. Those kind of things just help whenever someone's trying to figure out their way forward and what was working isn't working anymore. I'm going to spare you those details and get into one thing that made me happy as a child. It's still around today, but it's a different animal, and it had me thinking about something that my adult self can learn from. And I'm hoping that you adults out there watching this still have your inner child in you, and maybe that inner child used to play Pokemon like I did. Pokemon, it's, at one point that was my whole world. I had the Game Boy Color, so I had the Game Boy. Every Saturday morning there was a new episode that came out. I would go to school and talk with my friends about what their favorite Pokemon was or what moves we were going to do. Um, I was one of those few kids that like I would sneak in my Game Boy and hope that somebody else would bring their connector cable so we could trade Pokemon. It was a big deal. Like my life revolved around Pokemon for a little bit, and I kept some of the cards, but I don't know. I wasn't really into the card game as much as I was just the culture of it. I really loved the world of Pokemon as a kid. And the generations that came after, I was a child whenever 1, 2, and 3 came out, and they've changed. They've introduced some new dynamics to the game. What applies to me as an adult, whenever I look at the game now, it's just like every other thing. Like being an adult is, wow, what's up with the money in that game? It really sticks out to me because whenever I was a kid playing, money didn't mean anything in the game. And I think that's the beauty of Pokemon. Now that's what I want to share with you today. Is I want you all to imagine with me a Pokemon economy. If you haven't played the game, I'll back up a little bit and say that it's a game where money isn't the point, but money still matters for things. You start off, you get a pal. That pal has to get some potions or something else that you need to go buy, or Pokeballs. Pokeballs you got to go spend money on. And as you play the game, it's almost like there's a natural flow of how your character earns money. It's kind of secondary because you earn money through uh, battling other trainers. There's a thing where if you beat the trainer leaves you money, drops you money. It's a element of the game. And then as you walk along, you'll find other treasures and things along your path and things to resell. Um, it just seemed like it was part of the game, but it wasn't a big part. Like you could walk along and collect gold bricks if you wanted to, but the point of the game was not to see who had the best gold bricks. It was to see who had the best Pokemon team, who had beaten the gym leaders. That's how the story progressed. Was you were focused on becoming a better Pokemon trainer, building a better team, things that actually mattered in that world. And I think this is something that's going to affect our world too. Is we've gotten away from systems of nature, things that are following a natural path and make sense. In the game of Pokemon, there's a couple plot points I remember where there's like a natural event, and Pokemon trainers have to figure out how to use their Pokemon in order to clear an obstacle or to help a village or something like that. But even the game recognized that people's occupation, what they concern themselves with, has to still follow nature. If you live around a volcano, you're going to have to be cleaning up the soot that falls down. If you live in an island chain, there's going to be a bunch of fish. There's things that we can't deny about nature. Somebody's not going to be able to live in the desert and then feel like it's going to, they're going to go snowboarding the next day. That's something that's I'm taking that across the point. But in the world of Pokemon, everything follows nature. There's not going to be something that's out of place from how that is. Now, um, a worldly thing that's in the game that every Pokemon trainer has to go through, and this was a big deal in the first couple games, was getting a bicycle, getting transportation. I mean, the bicycle in the game, I you can imagine going into a general store somewhere that has a bicycle and it's going to cost you a couple $100. Inflation. I don't put a dollar amount, but I do remember for Pokemon, it was within the early part of the game. You had just started. I think as you're progressing along, there's 10 different gyms. No, 10, 8. I'm messing this up, but as you go along in the early part, there's a bicycle store. And you go in, you think, oh, I'm going to go buy a bicycle. I've beaten a couple trainers, I've got a couple gym badges, and the bicycle costs 1,000,000 Poké Dollars. I mean, I'm not joking. It was 1,000,000 or 100 million. It was like some number that was completely incomprehensible. And that was that was supposed to not encourage the trainer to then grind to then make $1,000,000. The point of the game was to go find somebody who had a bike voucher. They were somebody who they needed help with their Pokemon. And then here comes this great Pokemon trainer with just the right moveset to take care of that. So you get a bike voucher worth $1,000,000. I mean, I know that that's not super real world, but at the same time, I mean, I feel like how many different problems do we have that are huge to us, huge, big problems, but are small problems to somebody else, or vice versa. You might have helped out somebody, a friend, family member, and felt like it wasn't a lot of effort, but to them it was a lot. Do you put a dollar amount on that? Is it worth $1,000,000 if they had $1,000,000? That's that's something that the game worked out and kind of left up to the player to be like, okay, this thing says it's $1,000,000, but the actions that I took and what I needed to get to it really wasn't worth that much. So I think even in the game, it started to show the difference between, dollar amounts and then what actual value is. Now, in later generations, I know I'm focusing very much on my childhood playing, the first couple on the Game Boy. Later on, as there was the 3DS and Switch, the game includes a lot more different functionality where you can spend money on other things. You can spend money on clothing, you can spend money on decorations and stickers and stuff for your Pokemon. There's a lot more stuff to spend money on, but the overarching theme is still there that no one's going to go broke. As long as a Pokemon trainer is actively playing the game, is an active Pokemon trainer, they are not going to ever be a point of destitution where they can't do anything. There's always an avenue to go train more Pokemon or go explore new areas, go catch other Pokemon. I mean, it's not like there's ever a point where that character's basic needs are not met. Another part of Nintendo put in this functionality too, where if you need to go take a rest, go find a bed and take a rest. I'd still think that's kind of an odd game mechanic because wouldn't it be great if here in the United States, if somebody's wandering around outside homeless, if there's a place where they can just go in and go to a bed and get a rest? I know it's a video game, it's not real life, but shouldn't real life be a little bit more fun, a little bit less risk? I reflect on how we live in this age of so much opulence and excess. And it's just like, why can't the game be played for something that is more fun to be played for? I mean, competing with other humans for money in a competition where we're all having to join the market, if there's, it's just competition in itself. Like, I'm a competitor where if I'm in an engagement, a competitor, excuse me, if I'm in an engagement, there's a competition, there's the opponent. I want to beat the opponent. I want to crush the opponent. I want there to be just full victory, right? Yet I don't want that to be how we all live our life, where we're all competing with one another for the resources of where to live, what to eat, water to drink. I mean, competing for those things is not helping us grow as a community. And if we were looking for other ways to have a market, to have competition, I think we got to look back at the Pokemon model. There should be certain things that, yes, you can spend money on, but then there's other things that are just already there, just already baked in, just part of life. And wouldn't it be great if it was just a part of life that there's food for everybody and beds for everybody, and that the biggest struggle was if your Pokemon's going to evolve or not? I, yeah, I don't know how we'll get there, but there's got to be a massive shift of focus from what we're actually competing for. And if we look to games, well, I'd love to make it a Pokemon style game where everybody gets to be their own individual style, take on their own individual mission. Not everybody has to be the champion. Some people are great at the beauty competitions within the game. I mean, yeah, without digging too much into the fandom itself, I just wanted to quickly point out how there's it's a large difference. Like right now, if you look up Pokemon economy, you're probably going to find news news articles and videos about adults who are going around buying the cards and then flipping the cards, and there's just this whole monetization of Pokemon cards where I got frustrated as I was trying to buy some Pokemon cards for my kids. I couldn't find any on the shelves because I didn't know that there's this whole Pokemon card conundrum going on right now in 2025. And yeah, so that spurred my whole thought of what are we doing in this economy? What are we actually competing for? What's there to win? So, hope you think about that. Hope it stirs some ideas. Come up with some other video game references. There's got to be a different way for us to live life. And yeah, I'll share some more lessons and crazy thoughts with you. So join me next time, won't you?